but adding to that, going back to this church hurt thing. So we're still talking about growth, and now we're just talking about the hindrances of your growth. And a lot of times I hear some people say, I didn't go back there no more, or I stopped going to church altogether because the church hurt me. And going back to what I was saying earlier, why would we give any one person that power? So what is your perspectives on church hurt, Jamie?
So I think I've said this before, because it's either deja vu or we've actually talked about this, one or the other. But my outlook on church hurt is that the church can't hurt you. There are people inside the church that may wrong you or hurt you. And I'm gonna tell you my personal mentality. I can only speak for me. I'm a full-grown woman, and I don't do childish things or games or pity pat, bitterness. I don't do all that. Yes, I don't have time for that. We are here to do God's work, and don't get me wrong, I may get frustrated.
The other thing is that complacency on how things are or how they used to be or how they are. These are the things we do, and this is how we do it. Without that innovative or a change in that can also bring a lot of, I would call, noise. That's what I call it, like unwanted sound, unwanted things to happen in church. So at times there's possibilities that being stagnant in the ways that things are done can shake. When things shake, people are not used for change. Change hurts sometimes. Change is different. Change is not the norm. So people feel uncomfortable with that, which is fine. But at the same time, it does ruffle feathers, and people can get offended by that. People can get hurt by that. But it's more of a personal thing if that does, because we have to change and evolve. And if you don't want to, you can get left behind. That happens a lot. So I mean, that's my 2 cents to it sometimes, and that people do get hurt from that. But that's just me.
And I was put on kind of when it comes to me, this personally, when anyone kind of goes against what I know my character is, I kind of just be like, I don't like that. And Bishop and I, of course, talked about it, but I had definitely left church for a while with other things that were necessarily going on in my life. But when I would always think about when Sunday would come, he's the bishop of the church, so it's this is his church. But I'd be this was a home to me, and regardless of such, I still, really feel tied to this church. Let me go back. It was just more or less let's leave that alone. And I prayed about it, of course, because of my own feelings towards it. And then Bishop ended up, we ended up talking, and he apologized, and then publicly apologized as well. But I would say it's more or less depending on, and I guess church hurt to me is more or less an embarrassment or something that was, again, deeply rooted in something else that person, again, may or may not have known it would have affected me as much.
My question is, whenever we talk about getting hurt, why do we use the term church hurt?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I think, I just want to, I'm coming to you, brother. I think that's, when we do that, right, because it happens in the church, but I think that's the wrong answer,
The whole church didn't hurt you.
Right.
Because some people have left, and then I find out years later that they got hurt in the church. And I'm thinking, well, why didn't I know that? I had no clue that happened. So why do you say church hurt? I did not hurt you. I didn't even know the hurt occurred. So I'm just thinking, why do we use that term so loosely? And the church did not do anything to you. It was a particular person, maybe, that did it. But we want to include, when I hear church hurt, I include the whole church. That in my mind. So the whole church did not hurt you. So why do we use that term so loosely?
The biggest problem is that we continue to try to operate from mess. We continue to try to operate from things that are not of God instead of allowing God to change our minds and our approach to things, even if we get offended. Well, how did Jesus handle offended? He got embarrassed. He got whooped. He got torn. His skin torn apart. He got accused of things, accused of stuff he didn't do. But what did he do? What did he do? And the biggest thing that I've seen, and when I was younger, I was guilty of it too. I'm too busy worried about me instead of worrying about whether or not I'm even listening to the Word of God, whether or not I'm even applying the Word of God. And that leads to all these other things as church hurt. That leads to these other things as I was offended.